Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen. Okay, now since we've been talking about middle school and high school, somebody wrote in and said, my child going to middle school is also my fear. I don't see that he will be able to be successful there because of all the transitions. Elementary school seems barely doable in public school. What will happen if my child is unable to adapt to a public middle school? Are there options besides homeschool? And they write in that they're in Glendale. And I think that we probably both have things to...
You have a million options. You have a million options.
Yeah.
And being in California helps, of course. You start with requesting an IEP, Individualized Education Plan, and you can get an aid for your classroom. You can get an aid for your child specifically. You can get a resource specialist who can come in and try to help figure out how to make the schedule easier for your child. You can get accommodations from the school so that they make the plan, the homework, the schedule, whatever it is your child needs easier. There's a lot of things. You have a lot of options. But I wouldn't worry about that just yet. I would just maybe spend the summer practicing. Honestly, if you have the opportunity to go to the middle school with your child and talk to the teachers ahead of the school year and figure out exactly what it is that they are expecting from your child in detail, then I would work with someone to plan it and practice it.
Yeah, and you know, you can have aides do all kinds of things.
Yes.
When my son was in middle school, his aid was for executive functions. That's what the aid was for. And so they helped him at school to set up his planner, work through his planner, you know, notice what was in his planner, hand in the thing that was in his planner. There's all kinds of things, and it's individual. So, you know, you can find the way to do it. You know, it's just a matter of getting the school to be on board with that, and that's a whole Bonnie Yates conversation. But there's ultimate things that you can do. I'm so excited because you're going to love this next question. Okay. This is the first time. I wish that we had buzzers and things. You know how they have that, you know, you're the 1 millionth customer. Yeah. This is the first time that somebody has written in with this, and we always see this. They write in, I'm confused about the levels of autism. Most people say my child is level 1 or level 2, but my child has 2 levels.
Oh, good.
Level 1 for social communication and level 2 for repetitive and restrictive behaviors. Why are there 2 levels? Congratulations, because you're the first parent who's written in and said, I have the 2 levels, because that is correct.
That is correct. So a couple of years ago, actually I don't remember what year it was now when they changed into the DSM-5. It's like 5, yeah, that would make it, 7 years ago already? Good Lord, Shanna.
It's been a while. We're due for another change, you know.
Yeah, they changed every few years. So 7 years ago, they came out with the Diagnostic Manual 5, which basically said, okay, autism, before that we used to have like different types of autism, like autistic disorder, and then there was Asperger's disorder, and then there was PDD-NOS, which is pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, and so on. And with the DSM-5, they said, no, this is all just one spectrum with different levels. And the other thing they did is they in the old days, 7 years ago, there used to be 3 categories of symptoms. One was communication, one was social behavior, and one was this stereotypical repetitive behaviors, which are very, very classically aligned with autism. And what they did with the DSM-5 is they merged the social and the communication, and it makes sense, because if you think about it, you know, not having communication, not being able to communicate will delay social. And so those 2 are somewhat related to each other. So now we have 2 domains, the social communication and then the repetitive behaviors. And there are levels, there are 3 levels for each of those. So for example, in level 1 through 3. And the levels have to do with the amount of assistance or support your child needs. If your child needs very little support to deal with the social communication issues, then it's a level 1. If your child needs a moderate amount of support in that area, it's a 2. If your child needs a lot of support in that area, it's a 3. And if your child requires a little bit of support with their repetitive behaviors or sensory repetitive behaviors, it's a 1, again a 2 and a 3. But there are 2 domains, 2 distinct areas, social communication and the presence of repetitive stereotypical behaviors. And each of those will have a number. And I've said that multiple times. In fact, when you diagnose, you're not even supposed to mention the number. You're supposed to say with, needing excessive support or needing minimal support or that sort of thing. But whatever it is, a number for each domain. So for your child, you got it right. Whoever diagnosed your child did it the right way. A lot of times people just give one number, and that is not necessarily accurate, because one child might require a lot of support in social communication, but no support at all in the area of repetitive stereotypical behaviors, or the other way around.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, I certainly know people that would have been under the old Asperger,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And they are very communicative, probably would get a 1 under communication, but they are debilitated by
Some strict routine
yes.
that they must.
And that even leaving the house is a nightmare. And people go, well, look how functional they are. And they're sitting there saying, I've got a real issue here.
That's right.
And so this reporting system has actually been helpful for them to be able to get support.
That's right.
Because it identifies
Absolutely
them
right.
in different ways. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.